HOA Karens smashed mirror at community center got slammed with $120,000 fine. Karen stood in the community center's parking lot, her breath visible in the chilly evening air. The shattered glass of the center's front doors glittered under the streetlights like 1,000 tiny accusations. She hadn't meant for it to go this far. She never did. But the homeowners association meeting had spiraled, voices rising, tempers flaring, and now here she was 52. A mother of 2 grown kids. A pillar of Willow Creek's pristine cul-de-sac staring at the wreckage of her own making. It started with the newsletter. Karen, head of the HOA's beautification committee, had proposed stricter rules. No unapproved lawn ornaments, no garish holiday lights, no basketball hoops cluttering driveways. Standards matter, she'd said, her voice crisp at the meeting. We're not just a neighborhood. We're a community with values. Most nodded. But Jake, the scruffy college kid who'd moved in with his aunt, smirked from the back. Values? He'd muttered. You mean control. Jake wasn't like the others. He didn't care about perfectly trimmed hedges or matching mailboxes. His aunt's house, with its peeling paint and overgrown garden, stuck out like a sore thumb. Karen had sent him 3 violation notices in a month. He'd ignored them all. Tonight, though, he'd shown up, slouched in a folding chair, challenging every word she said. When she unveiled the new $500 fine for noncompliance, he laughed a sharp, bitter sound that cut through the room. You're pricing people out of their homes, Karen, he said. This isn't about standards. It's about power. The room erupted. Neighbors, usually docile, started shouting. Old Mr. Thompson, who'd lived in Willow Creek for 40 years, called her a tyrant. Mrs. Lopez, whose Christmas lights Karen had once reported, threw a pen at the table. Karen felt her face burn. She wasn't the villain here. She was protecting property values, keeping the neighborhood from slipping into chaos. But the accusations kept coming, each one a jab at her carefully constructed world. Then Jake stood, holding up a photo of the community center's prized Marora massive, ornate piece donated by a local artist, etched with the town's history. You want control? He said, voice shaking. This mirror's more valuable than your rules. It's art. It's us. He grabbed a chair, raised it, and before anyone could stop him, swung it at the mirror. The crash was deafening, shards flying like confetti. The room froze. Karen, stunned, felt something snap inside her. She lunged forward, not thinking, and shoved Jake. He stumbled, dropping the chair leg. In her rage, she picked it up and swung at the remaining fragments of the mirror, obliterating what was left. The crowd gasped. Karen dropped the chair leg, her hands trembling. Jake stared at her wide-eyed, as if seeing her for the first time. You're just like me, he whispered. Angry, lost. The police arrived within minutes. The community center's board filed charges. Not just against Jake, but Karen too. The mirror, they said, was worth $100,000. Restoration costs and legal fees pushed the total to $120,000. The HOA, desperate to distance itself, slapped Karen with the full fine, claiming her actions escalated the destruction. Jake got community service. His aunt's house was already underwater, so fines were pointless. Karen, though, was ruined. Her savings, her husband's retirement fund gone. The neighborhood she'd fought to perfect turned on her. HOA Karen, they called her, the nickname spreading like wildfire on social media. But there was a twist no one saw coming. At the trial, Mr. Thompson, the quiet widower who'd called her a tyrant, took the stand. He wasn't there to testify about the mirror. Instead, he revealed something else. The mirror wasn't worth $100,000. It had been appraised at $10,000 years ago, but the community center's board had inflated its value to secure a grant. The $120,000 fine was a cover to fund renovations they'd been planning for years. Karen's heart sank as the truth landed. Not only was she vilified, but she'd been scapegoated by the very institution she'd served. The courtroom buzzed. Jake, sitting in the back, looked at Karen with something like pity. She didn't want it. She wanted to scream, to expose the board's lies, but her lawyer warned her. Fighting would only dig her deeper. The fine stood. Her reputation was in tatters. The neighborhood she'd shaped now saw her as a cautionary tale. Weeks later, Karen sat alone in her too-quiet house. Her husband had left for a break. Her kids stopped calling, and the HOA had replaced her with Mrs. Lopez. She stared at a photo of Willow Creek's annual picnic, where she'd once handed out awards for best-kept lawns. Jake was in the background, unnoticed then, tossing a frisbee with his cousin. She hadn't seen it before the way his smile lit up, free, unburdened by her rules. The mirror's destruction wasn't just about glass. It was about her need to control, to enforce order in a world that felt like it was slipping away. Jake had been right. She was angry, but so was he. And so were they, all neighbors fighting over petty rules while bigger lies festered. The board's deception, Mr. Thompson's confessionate, showed her that the community she'd idealized was as flawed as she was. Karen drove to the community center one last time. The doors were boarded up, the parking lot empty. She left a note taped to the plywood. "I'm sorry. Let's rebuild together." She didn't know if anyone would read it. She didn't know if she'd stay in Willow Creek. But for the first time, she saw the cracks in her own reflection, not just the mirrors. The fine would follow her for years, a bitter weight. Jake moved away, his aunt's house sold at a loss. The neighborhood carried on, but the trust was broken. Karen's story became a whispered lesson. Control comes at a cost, and sometimes, the mirror you shatter is your own. What do you think? Was Karen a villain, a victim, or something else? Share your thoughts on justice and community.